Lee, big season. When you reflect on the entire season, what's the first thing that comes to mind, especially now after receiving the All-Star the other night?
Oh yeah, I suppose the one moment that stands out in my mind would be, I suppose, the Leinster final. The final moments in the game, and that particular day was, I suppose, a big highlight for us for many years anyway. So that for me was the stand-up moment of the year.
And the All-Stars the other night, how big a thrill was that for you?
Yeah, look at it, it was unbelievable. For my family and my club, it's incredible. They were so proud, and look at, obviously I was happy myself to receive an All-Star. It's something, I suppose, as a kid, you look up to your heroes that are receiving these All-Stars, and I suppose just to be up there with the rest of the gang, that was there on the night, it was just an honour to be there side by side with such great hurlers in the country as well.
I was speaking to Rory O'Connor during the week, and he was saying that after winning that Leinster title, the big breakthrough moment for you, that kind of changed how you view yourselves, and that you're capable of more than just that.
Yeah, well, I think so. I think there is certain pillars of teams' careers that, there's moments where once you get over a certain line, that it pushes you on further. And like over the course of Davy's time with us, in 2017 was a big milestone for us as well, getting into a Leinster final, and we started believing, I suppose, then what we were capable of, but we probably just weren't fully assured of ourselves yet. And 2018 we had a bit of a rocky year. We didn't really make any ground on the previous year, but then in 2019 we just decided, look, we know we're well capable of whatever, and especially that, I suppose, that game up in Salthill against Galway was one pivotal moment when we just kind of went up there and, look, we got a draw of it, and it was a game that we probably could have won as well. And I think we sat in the dressing room afterwards, and we agreed that, look, we're well capable of going places here, so let's just keep the head down and keep working hard.
And how important then, actually, what sort of conversations would you have had even with Davy Fitzgerald in between the time that the season ended and he made his decision to stay on?
Yeah, the conversations that I would have had with him, I wouldn't have been totally biased towards Wexford. Obviously, I want him to stay. I would have been planting little seeds every now and again, but it was more to do with, a friend and a friendship, and I wanted him to be happy in his decision, for him to come back to Wexford. I didn't want him, I didn't want to be trying to force him or convince him to come back to Wexford when I was thinking, I don't know if it's what he really wants to do with his life. So I was just trying to support him in regards, whatever it was he wanted to do, that I'd back him, and that I'd 100% respect his decision, and I'll never fall out with him over it. That was more or less the conversations we had.
And you said a friend. How does the friendship develop? Because it's supposed to be the guy in charge, and then you're one of his players.
Yeah, well, I suppose for a player, you're always going to wait till, I suppose, the manager makes that type of move, because look, I suppose as a character, I'd always try to have a bit of crack and stuff within the panel, and I found I did always try to have a bit of crack with Davy, and to be fair to him, he's deadly at it himself. And I think just through things like that, I suppose, and then it was Davy that I suppose creates that relationship, just through how passionate he is about his players and the guys that he's with every day. And it's just the kind of man that he is. That's the relationship he wants with players. And if a player has an opportunity to get to know a man like that, and on a I suppose a more friendship level, I do it anyway, because I like having that relationship with him. And a lot of the lads in the panel do too.
Because we see him and he's getting fairly worked up on the sideline. We would never have assumed that this guy's going to be a crack merchant. Is that what you thought when you came in, and when did you realise, all right, he's a bit of fun too?
To be honest, it was immediate, because the first meeting that we had, although as much as he gets his point across within a couple of minutes, and how serious he is, he loves throwing in the one-liners that just shows his, that he's down to earth, and that he's just go fun, he's go crack. He'd be unbelievably passionate at the top of the room, talking about what we're going to do for the year and his plans and whatever. But then he'll throw in a one-liner that could be just funny, just make people laugh, and it just kind of, it makes you a bit more relaxed in the room with him, But he's very good at controlling the room that way, in regards if he wants the mood to be, aggressive and intense, it's going to be that way. And if he wants to be a bit more relaxed, he's well capable of that too.
I suppose just from the All Ireland semi final last year. When you reflect on that now, is there anything particular you can pick out from the game that areas you need to improve on going forward to next year?
Um, yeah, I just think in that game when we were, I suppose at halfway through the second half, we were in control of the game. We were a couple of points up, and I suppose Tip were a man down, and we probably could have controlled the game a little bit better in regards. Maybe just keep retaining possession. I think was one element. I just thought. I don't know if it was the case that we found that they had a man down that we'd start pumping the ball along. And when you do that again, a team like Tipperary and the backs that they have, they're 9 times out of 10 going to come out on top. So I think that was just one area where we probably messed up a little bit in that game. I think we could have probably went short a little bit more with our puck outs in the second half, just to try and control possession again. But it was just things like that, I suppose, just maybe sticking to the system that we had. That's one learning curve anyhow.
I presume it takes a while to get over a defeat like that. Like I'd say, even watching the All Ireland final, it's still in the back of your mind that you might have left it behind you a little bit. How long does it take before you can sort of recess or go again for next year?
Well, I suppose all year when you play your games between Walsh Cup, National League, practice games, and then Championship, every game you dissect and you analyse. And when you're beaten in the last game of the year, that's it, you're done for the year, and there's no assessments, there's no analysing. And that was one hole that I found hard to fill, was the fact that we didn't sit down in a room together and just discuss what went wrong, because I needed answers myself. And it was, I suppose, the thing then that you be contacting a couple of lads, and through conversations with the lads and David themselves, you start filling that hole of going, yeah, maybe they're the reasons why. And it's just, it takes a while. It does take a while, but again, time is a great healer, and you go back to your club and you just, you get on with the lads there. The lads make you feel better. You set another goal with your club, and you move on in time.
Brendan Bugler has come in this year now. He's have you played against him, or have you had experience with him off the field, or have you talked to Davey about him at all? Or?
Yeah, Brendan Bugler. Sure, all we know about Brendan is he was an unbelievable, honest guy on the field. I played against him in 2014, where he actually got sent off again, Wexford in Wexford Park. We had a meeting last week and I threw a little dig at him but it was a joke. I spent time with Brendan Bugler in New York. We actually won a championship out there with Galway in New York together. So I wouldn't have got to know him very well. I only spent a day or two with him because I was only there for the weekend. But great guy. I bumped into him once or twice over the years. Met him last week as well. He came down to meet the group, and just an unbelievable guy. Looking forward to working with him.
Do you think it's a fair assessment that Wexford haven't been living up to their potential the past few seasons? Do you see this as a side that should be challenging for All Ireland's final spots every year?
Well, look, I just think after certain years where you have a bit of success, you can only start thinking in that bracket. It's very unusual for teams to just come out of nowhere and just win an All Ireland. It doesn't usually happen. It has happened, but not always. And I think Wexford were one of those teams that we were making. We were making certain steps towards that over the last couple of years. And look, after this year, you'd imagine, coming out of Leinster and winning Leinster, that you'd be thinking we have a chance now to win an All Ireland. But it's years like this year, getting over a provincial final, that I suppose leads you to believe that you're capable of those things.
So Leinster is the launch pad now for Wexford to go on and challenge the Kilkenny's Tips Limericks.
Well, look at it. Like I said, I just think, when you're winning your provincial title, I think you should be contending, I suppose, for setting your sights on maybe winning the big one. But look at it. It's still not an easy task. As you can see, we won Leinster this year, Limerick won Munster, and none of us are in the All Ireland final. That's how competitive hurling has gone. And but look at again, every year most teams will set out their stalls of doing well in the league and possibly trying to win the league, and then trying to win the provincials and trying to win the All Ireland, and it's very hard to do all three. But we only nailed one of them this year.
Would you put much stock on that? The fact that neither provincial champions reached the All Ireland final, does it diminish the provincial championships in any way?
No, not at all. I think the provincial championships are great. I think this year the Leinster championship was unbelievable. always the Munster Championship was fantastic, and they're great. They're great, I suppose, tournaments leading up to the All Ireland, and like we all enjoy them. And it's an earlier goal in the summer that you can set for yourself. To try and win your province. And like look, we haven't been in many of them over the last number of years. And 2017 we fell short, and this year we're delighted to get over the line. It was great for our group of players to see some silver.
Like you mentioned about 2017 and 2018 was a disappointing campaign. 2019 obviously a good one. Like that you get, I suppose, to attain that level of consistency. Is that something that you really kind of are striving to attain, maybe going forward?
Yeah, every team is striving for consistency. Really, it's really that if you're consistent, I suppose it's where you're going to make your gains. And I suppose over the years at Wexford, we were one of those teams that were unpredictable, and we were inconsistent. Like years gone by, like even in 2014 we beat Clare, the All Ireland champions, and then for another few years after that again we weren't really doing much, I suppose. And like we were always a very committed bunch of lads, very dedicated, but it was a case of we just needed an extra little bit, and since Davy came in, he's brought that. And look at it, it's the last couple of years have been a bit more promising for us. But again, in 2017 we were consistent in some of our performance, not all of them. 2018 similar enough, again weren't consistent in all of them. But in 2019, I think throughout the championship anyway, the 5 games I think we had, or 6 games, I think we were pretty consistent in most of them. So that's a good sign.
Do you think that, like, obviously getting the Leinster win, like, will that kind of, I suppose, increase the belief kind of going into this year that she can kind of, that you've reached a level that she can now try and drive on to get to the next level, maybe?
Yeah, well, again, look at again, everyone is at ground level now. We're going to start the same as everybody else. We're going to go into our national league prepared, and again, like this year in the national league, we tried so many guys. Like a lot of lads got game time and got to show what they're made of. And I think we'll do the same again this year. Try to get some new lads onto the field and see how we go that way. And then when you go into championship, look at you're setting your short-term goals again. You're just you're wanting to go into it with confidence, consistency, and we'll just target our first game again like anything else. We won't ever set our sights on what's ahead. Obviously, they are their goals at the end of the day, but you got to set your small-term goals, I suppose, before the ultimate one. And like look, we'll just approach the Leinster Championship. We won't even be thinking about All Ireland or anything like that.
Lee, when people say that, like, the game against Tipperary that you played, and it's such a highly demanding athletic game that you play, people running off the shoulder, constantly moving, that in the last few minutes, as well as probably lumping too much ball up the field and making it easy for Tip in that sense, that you kind of ran out of steam to some degree. Is that unfair?
Look, I would say, I suppose the game that we do play is very demanding on the legs. We are a team that like to run off the shoulder a lot and keep possession of the ball, and when you're keeping possession of the ball, it means you have to move with it. You have to run an awful lot with the ball. It's very demanding, and yeah, you could possibly say that the legs were a bit tired coming towards the end of the game, but I still think we had enough chances at the end of the game to probably even seek out a draw, probably nip it in the end. But like I said, if you're going to play to Tipperary's strengths, the legs are no good to you anymore.